Hi everyone. I'm a firm believer in just jumping right in. So, having bipolar disorder means that I have had to come up with methods of coping and communication that might not occur to a neurotypical brain. I like to say if you've met one person with bipolar disorder, that means you have met one person who has bipolar disorder. It manifests a little bit differently in everyone. However, the standard extreme moods, that's definitely something we all have in common. And it can be incredibly frustrating when suddenly, out of nowhere, you're very upset and you have no idea why. You could be having the time of your life at a concert, you could be in a sad situation like a funeral, you could just be trying to live your daily life, and suddenly, out of nowhere, some other weird emotion will hit you with the force of a truck. I like to equate it to being taken out of the driver's seat of your own car, your brain, put in the passenger seat, and you just get to watch your weirdo brain drive you into the nearest wall. It's great. So anyway, how do you communicate with the people around you what you're going through without either having to explain a bunch of very complicated, weird, different contextual things, and that other person's wondering if you're mad at them and you're not even really in a place to explain stuff to people. So today, I want to talk about one of the most important coping mechanisms to come out of basically 10 years of living with bipolar disorder. Code words. Code words are one of the single most important communication tools I have ever come across, and I wish to impart their wisdom onto you. So, if you have people in your life who you need to be able to communicate with in a simple and effective way, especially if you're in a particular headspace, code words are the way to go. Now, obviously, you need to discuss them beforehand. You don't just come up with the code word on your own. That'd be kind of silly. If you're out walking around and you suddenly yell thunderstorm for no reason. But for example, in my family, we use weather terms. So if I wake up one day and I can tell that I'm going to be really low, I'll say cloudy day. If I'm having a day that I'm probably going to start crying for no reason, I'll say rainy day. If I know that I am right on the cusp of some probably pretty bad thing, I'll say thunderstorm. And if I know for a fact that I am just going to be the most testy, crotchety, grumpy, angry, spiky sea urchin all day, I'll say lightning storm. These code words mean that my family does not have to wonder or worry about why I'm suddenly in a really foul mood. They know it has nothing to do with them and everything to do with my disorder. We also have a little extra explanation for each of those code words that lets them know what the best thing they can do to help me is. For example, if I say cloudy day, usually it means I could do with some kind of distraction like an activity or a movie. If I say rainy day, they know that there's really not much to be done for that day other than maybe making me a cup of tea. But I'm just going to cry, and that's just the way that that's going to be. If I say thunderstorm, usually we just kind of let me do my own thing that day, whether I come down and sit and watch a movie or I spend the entire day holed up in my room. That's just how I'm dealing with that day. A lightning storm is one of the worst days, and they know that that is a day to 100% leave me alone. I feel incredible, enormous guilt when I lash out at people for no reason. Again, bipolar disorder is incredibly frustrating. I know I'm upset for no reason, or I'm upset at a level that doesn't match the situation I'm in. But just like being pulled out of the driver's seat, I am incapable of doing anything other than watching the stupid stuff that comes out of my mouth and how it negatively affects the people around me. Not mean, I just really think through the things I say, or I'm a little snappy. And unfortunately, if you're near me, I'm probably going to snap at you. Luckily, for me, lightning storms are pretty rare. But it's not fair for my family for me to snap at them and for them to not have any idea why. So having these methods of communication has really improved my family's ability to help me tenfold. Again, I have bipolar disorder, which means I'm very knowledgeable about mental health needs, inclusive language, vocabulary, diagnoses. But my family, especially my extended family, don't have that knowledge, and I don't expect them to. When it's needed, I explain it to them the best that I can. When you have a neurodivergent brain, trying to explain how your thought processes work is kind of difficult. This is where code words can be an invaluable resource. When you're able to communicate something as simply as possible, You can get through the headspace you're in without worrying about hurting your relationships with others. Code words can also be an effective tool for communication even if you don't understand what your emotions are at the moment. So I encourage parents to come up with code words for their kids, so that when little kiddos get overwhelmed by the very large feelings in their bodies, they have an opportunity to take that moment to try to figure out where all of their upset is coming from. After I've used one of my code words and then dealt with the accompanying feeling, we generally try to discover if there is anything that could have triggered that headspace. Sometimes there's a direct link, and sometimes there isn't, but that's the nature of my disorder. For most people, there's usually a correlation that can be found through introspection. Introspection can help you avoid triggers in the future, or at least know what you can do with them once they happen. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me today, and I hope my code words spark something for you. Just, hopefully not a lightning storm.